Nvidia has built an absolute fortress around the AI industry. I mean, it seems impenetrable. By 2026, their dominance looks completely locked in. But you know what? Every fortress has a secret weakness. And today, we're going to expose the one threat that could bring the whole thing crumbling down. So let's breach the walls. Okay, this is the number that just changes everything. $500 billion. Now, that's not their market cap. No. That is the projected demand from their customers for their next-gen chips through 2026. It's a figure so massive, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. And this isn't just some analyst's guess. This comes straight from the top. When CEO Jensen Huang says this, he's not just talking about selling a few more chips. He's telling us this is the dawn of a new industrial revolution. This isn't just a sales forecast, folks. It's a declaration that Nvidia is the essential utility, the power grid, for the entire global AI build-out. So what if that $500 billion number is built on a house of cards? And I'm not talking about a competitor's new chip or some market crash. No, it's something far more unpredictable. And that is exactly what we are going to unpack right now. So first, we really need to understand the structure of this fortress. Because this isn't just business as usual. This is a full-blown technological arms race. Every tech giant, every nation-state, they are all arming themselves for the future. And right now, Nvidia holds the keys to the entire arsenal. Right, here's the crucial thing you have to get. You gotta stop thinking of Nvidia as just a component supplier. They are infrastructure now, period. Think of them like the electric company or the water utility. The modern world of AI literally cannot function without them. Their data center revenue is just exploding. It's on track to potentially clear $180 billion for the 2026 calendar year alone. This isn't just speculation. It's the cold, hard financial reality of building the next age of technology. So you might be asking, how can they be so confident about that $500 billion figure? Well, it's because of this powerful, almost symbiotic relationship between the giants of AI. It's like a pact that creates this closed-loop system, basically guaranteeing Nvidia's growth. I mean, just look at the scale of these commitments. A $100 billion deal with OpenAI, a $300 billion compute agreement with Oracle. These are not just simple purchase orders. These are multi-year, multi-gigawatt infrastructure projects. They are locking in the demand for Nvidia's next platform, Rubin, before it's even really shipping in volume. And this shows you exactly what's happening. It's a circular economy. See, OpenAI, Microsoft, all of them, they need Nvidia's next chip just to stay competitive. And in turn, their massive spending guarantees Nvidia's revenue and, of course, funds the R&D for the next chip after that. The cost to switch to a competitor is now so astronomically high, they're basically locked in. This right here is the bedrock of that $500 billion forecast. Okay, so even with all that guaranteed demand, you can be damn sure competitors are circling like sharks. So how does Nvidia defend its fortress? Well, it's not actually with better hardware. It's with a digital wall they started building almost 20 years ago. And this is it, CUDA. This is Nvidia's real, ultimate competitive advantage. For 18 years, they've been building out this software layer that every major AI framework, every AI developer is completely and totally reliant on. It's not just code, it's the language of AI. And asking the entire industry to learn a new language just to save a few bucks on a competing chip, it's a non-starter. It's an ecosystem tax that everyone in this space simply has to pay. And if you want to see just how powerful this software is, get this. With a recent CUDA update, Nvidia unlocked up to a 4x performance boost on their existing Blackwell chips. No new hardware, just a software download. I mean, how can a competitor with a clunky, less mature software ecosystem possibly compete with a company that can quadruple its performance with a software patch? It's insane. But that doesn't mean rivals aren't trying to storm the castle. The attack is coming on two fronts. You've got the traditional hardware competitors who are catching up, and then you've got Nvidia's own customers, the hyperscalers, who are starting to build their own silicon. Make no mistake, the battle in 2026 is going to be fierce. AMD's upcoming MI400 is shaping up to be an absolute monster. On paper, it's matching Nvidia in key performance areas, and this is critical, it's projected to have 50% more high-bandwidth memory. In the world of AI, memory is king. This is a legitimate threat on the hardware front. And then you have the rebellion from within. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, they're all designing their own chips now. but their strategy is a little different. They're targeting the lower margin, high volume work. It's called inference. That's the process of actually using a trained AI model to make predictions. So they're trying to chip away at the base of Nvidia's pyramid using custom, cheaper hardware for their own internal needs, while still having to rely on Nvidia for the cutting-edge, high-margin training stuff. But neither of these threats, not AMD, not Google, is the one that could truly bring this whole thing crashing down. No, that threat comes from the high-stakes, completely unpredictable world of geopolitics. Let's be perfectly clear about this. The single greatest variable in Nvidia's story for 2026 isn't the technology, it's the political relationship between Washington, D.C. and Beijing. And we've already seen just how devastatingly fast this can slam the bottom line. Remember when the US government suddenly banned the export of Nvidia's China-specific H20 chip? Well, the company had to take a staggering $4.5 billion charge. That's the cost of having a warehouse full of product you suddenly cannot sell. It was a brutal, instant reminder of just how vulnerable they are to a single policy decision. But then, in a move that shocked a lot of people, a stunning reversal. The US government approved exports of the more advanced H200 chip to China. This reopened a market potentially worth up to $50 billion. A huge win that brings a massive chunk of revenue back online. But it came with a catch, an unprecedented condition. And this is the toll. For every single dollar of H200 revenue that comes from China, 25 cents goes directly to the US government. It's a geopolitical tax, plain and simple. Now sure, it stabilizes revenue for now, but it sets a seriously dangerous precedent. Nvidia's profit margins in one of its key markets are now directly controlled by politicians. This is the kind of volatility that keeps CEOs up at night. But okay, there's another, more subtle threat lurking underneath that $500 billion demand. With Nvidia releasing a new, faster, more powerful chip every single year, how on earth can its customers afford to keep buying them? Seriously, think about it for a second. You spend billions on a data center packed with Blackwell chips, and just 1 year later, Rubin comes out and makes them look slow. This kind of rapid depreciation should be a financial disaster. So why are customers lining up to spend even more? Well, the answer lies in a brilliant financial strategy. They call it the value cascade. See, the economic life of a GPU doesn't just end when the new model arrives. The brand new Rubin chips, they'll handle the most difficult, cutting-edge training. The Blackwell chips they displace will then cascade down to handle high-volume inference. And the older H100s they replace, they get repurposed again for other tasks. This extends the useful economic life of the hardware for years, ensuring a positive return on investment and justifying that constant cycle of upgrades. It's brilliant. So let's bring it all home. We've seen the fortress, the alliances, the moats, and the very real threats. What's the final verdict for 2026? Is this whole thing a speculative bubble that's just waiting to pop, or is it the solid bedrock of a new technological era? The verdict? It's bedrock. Look, while there might be a bubble in some AI software applications out there, Nvidia is selling the physical infrastructure. They're selling the picks and shovels in a gold rush. The demand is structurally sound. It's locked in by these massive long-term capital commitments. They are the foundation. Now, to see who's building the next trillion-dollar empire on top of that foundation, you need to watch our next explainer on the AI software gold rush.